Here's some other tips on how you can ascend and how you can manifest. So I look at them all like dials. So like you're dialing in like a radio, but it has a bunch of different dials instead of just one where you're like, is this station on? Is this station on? So let me explain, okay? So your peace needs to be intact. In order for you to sync up and actually be a channel into the divine, you need to make sure that you have peace. So first step first, make sure you're not moving in anxiety. Make sure you're not moving in fear. Make sure you're not moving out of obligation. You're moving in peace and love and thankfulness. So that's your first dial. Second dial, okay, we all have our obligations. We're all working out here. We're all trying to get things done. And very often we'll get a synchronicity or a coincidence that'll tap us on the shoulder, or we'll get like a hunch here being like, oh, you should talk to that person. You should do this. And when you use obligation and you're like, well, I got to go do this right now. I don't have time for that. You have to dial in your childlike nature. How you dial in childlike nature? Kids don't do things by obligation. They do things by curiosity and by like passion. They're like, oh, let's go, and excitement of adventure. And so when you're going throughout your day, you have to lean into these things with that excitement, with that adventure, your kid dial, which then opens you up to this, oh, I wonder what that is. Oh, look at that down there. Let's go check out that butterfly. Like that, but do it in a way you now have wisdom, you now have, you're wise. Don't let the dials of them shutting off your heart so that you lose your childlike nature. Don't let that happen to you. This is a very important dial so that you can manifest. And then a dial above that is your passion and also your purpose. So something that makes you tick. And when you're tuning into all of these, you have your peace dial up, your fear dial down. You have your childlike nature up, which means that your curiosity and adventure dial is up and your obligation dial is down. Then on the top, you have your passion and purpose. That passion and purpose is going to drive you to be thankful, to be excited, to be in love and bliss. That's going to actually create the doorway so that you can pull on that higher realm. Because if you're operating in fear, you're only going to be able to pull in fear-based realities. That's the vibration that you're pulling on. That's the parallel that you're on. So if you're up here in light and love, yes, there's all this bad stuff happening. You have to remain up here. This is a skill set that is very hard for people to do, because what's everyone saying? Well, what about the war? Well, what about this? Well, what about inflation? And it's like, that's fear. You're not going to be able to, you're going to have to do everything through toiling if you live that way. If you want to bring in new earth, which is staying in the flow, you actually have to learn how to dial all of these in. Now, after you have those three dialed in, the last one, the cherry on top, is to pay attention to the synchronicities. Get sensitive enough and work that one out enough that you notice them and that you lean in. And when you start to do this, this is going to be the trifecta that starts opening up new earth for you right in front of your eyes.